Welcome, welcome back to the Own Your Power Lifestyle Show. I'm Coach Simone Kelly, author, intuitive life coach, and Reiki master with Own Your Power Communications. And we are your trusted guide to conscious living, intuitive wisdom, and personal growth. And today we have one of my dear friends, Paula, who is the owner of Amethyst and Rose. And she's a master astrologer, energy practitioner who blends intuitive insight with spiritual modalities. So welcome to the
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, I'm so happy. And just a little backstory, we have a mutual celebrity client, and we had, a client that we worked with, and she loved me and loved her and said, "You guys need to meet each other." And that's when I was living in Atlanta, and we actually ended up working. Well, you were still in California.
Still out in
Yeah,
California.
you were still in
Yeah.
California in LA,
Mhm.
and then you ended up we ended up meeting, and then we did some trades with each other, our healing modalities, and I've been in love ever since.
Yes, likewise.
She's a sweetie pie. So, welcome to the show. Today, we're going to talk about astrology. I think it's a topic that gets misconstrued a lot. A lot of people don't know the details. Or we want to kind of demystify what it's all about today. The
Yes.
topic is the astrology starter guide: signs, charts, and cosmic timing. We're gonna break down the foundations of astrology in a beginner friendly way. If you ever wondered how astrology works, my girl Paula's gonna break it down. So, with that said, for somebody who's new to astrology, how would you explain what astrology actually is, and how it works? The basic, you know,
The next in
layman.
yeah, yeah. So astrology is the study of the stars, planets, and constellations. And so there are different transits and different planet placements that emit a certain frequency or energy that's
Mhm.
mirrored in our waking life. So, whatever's taking place in the heavenlies, we'll see it being reflected in our life. And depending on your natal chart, birth chart, if you have those certain placements, then there may be areas of growth for you at that time, periods of rest, periods of transformation, and so it just gives you an idea of the energetic climate that we're in, one, and then it helps you understand the nature of who you are so that when we're out in the world and we know we have certain placements happening, we don't have to fear, we don't have to worry. We know, okay, this transit is happening. And so these are some of the things that come with that. So it's more, you being empowered as far as understanding, just like the weather, if you know it's going to be
Right.
rainy, you have what you need, your umbrella, your coat, your boots, and it's the same thing. It's like a lot of us are being exposed to the harsh elements of the planetary placements and not really understanding what's going on.
Right. Like, I think one example that I didn't know anything about, almost, it's like 19 years now, is Mercury in retrograde.
Oh,
I
yes.
didn't know what the hell that was, and I had a friend that was an astrologer, and she was like, "Girl, you planned your event during Mercury retrograde?" I was like, "What's that?" And I had, like, everything that could happen, that could go wrong behind the scenes went wrong. Thankfully, the event was still a success, but it was a lot of, like, legal tension, contracts, things like that, and I didn't know. Ever since then, I was like, "Where's Mercury retrograde? Well, let me not plan my event."
Right,
So,
right.
I
And
like how
that's
you
the
you
thing.
I
You can
well, I
best prepare, you can
yeah.
best you can do it at times that are supportive of you. I mean, sure, it can happen and it can be successful, but like you said, you came up against a lot of resistance and different things. And so that can be discouraging if you don't understand what's going on.
What's going on? Yes.
So you can tailor your life to the transits that's currently taking place and then your natal transits to best maximize the time.
Yeah, I like how you compared it to the weather. Like, it's like checking. Yeah. All right. So with that said, what are some common misconceptions about astrology that you'd love to clear up?
Okay, so with astrology, it's really been demonized, and it's again, astrology is a science. So just like we have anatomy and biology and different sciences, it's the same thing. And so I think that because it's being reintroduced mainstream, because this is an ancient practice that our ancestors did long, long time ago. They looked at the constellations to know when to plant, they followed the moon, they knew when the Nile was gonna rise because of certain planetary placements, and even, in the Bible, that's how they found Jesus.
Just thinking,
Sure. You know,
but
they
it's
find
evil.
and it's nothing of that nature. It is I mean, we don't debate the sun rising and setting every day.
Right.
We don't say that that's demonic or that's witchcraft, you know. We don't say that about the different moon phases. And so these transits are just what it is. And it's mirroring things in our waking life. So I would just say that, it's just the science, of life, life cycles, life patterns, and it's just unfortunate that it has like a bad stigma to it. And so that's why
Right.
I love what I do because I'm able to demystify it and educate others on what it really is so that you can embrace it and incorporate it in your life and it flows so much easier.
And I think also it is becoming more mainstream because of like TikTok, Instagram, like
Mhm.
people doing all these sort of readings, what have you. So now people are often read their horoscopes. I'm one of those people. And I think not until maybe 10, 15 years ago, I didn't even know what my rising sign was and my moon. I didn't know any of that stuff. But I still need to know. People think just because I'm intuitive and that I know everything about astrology. I'm like, no, I just know about when full moon's happening. But people they put us all in one big bucket. Like, we do everybody
Yeah.
does everything. So
Mhm.
with that said, what can you break down about the zodiac sign, your horoscope sign versus like your birth chart? What exactly is a birth chart? Because that's something a lot of people don't understand, and I'm still learning about it. So can you break that down?
Yes, absolutely. So our birth chart is a map to who you are. It's the sacred science of you. And so it's where all the planets were positioned the moment your spirit entered the Earth's atmosphere. And these placements are not by coincidence. Based off of your soul purpose, there are certain energetic frequencies that are needed. So the planets all come together, they work as a team, and they set up in certain houses, which has its own frequency, and they all harmonize their energies together to help support your vitality and your soul purpose. So that's the natal chart. So it shows us the ideal environment for us to thrive in. It shows us the themes in life that we will see, and it shows us areas of growth. So if you understand, say for instance, there's 12 houses and one house is the fourth house, which is governed by Cancer, which is family.
Okay.
Family, ancestors, traditions, your roots. So if you have a placement there, that means a lot of your growth is going to be centered around family, or family life is an intricate part of who you are. So depending on the planet, then it'll describe how that's gonna show up in your life. So it's like our parents used to say, "My house, my rules." You can't have a placement in that house and not think your life is not going to
Oh wow.
have those things come up. Now, if you resist it, it can be very challenging. You can feel disconnected. And a lot of us haven't been
Mhm.
home. A lot of us are unhoused. We're in other people's houses.
That's
So it's
true.
not until you come home then you're able to be your most authentic self. It shows you your home environment. So if you're feeling off, you can say, "Wait a minute. I haven't reconnected with my family. I haven't did anything that connected me to my traditions or my roots." And so
Right.
you do that and then that's how you feel secure and stable because it's an extension of who you are.
So the house okay, let me back up. One of the things that I know I've seen a lot of people, they don't know when they're born. They don't know their time they were born. Is it possible to still find your birth chart or no?
So you can
Chart.
still so it's a little different. You won't be able to know the houses, but you will know your placement. So a lot of times when
Okay.
people don't know their birth time, I'll say, "Well, do you know if it was morning, early morning, late
Oh,
afternoon, late evening?"
okay.
Because during that time a whole lot isn't changing, just the moon houses will switch up. But it's nothing like having that time to really pinpoint exactly where everything is positioned at that time.
Okay. I've seen some funny videos like that where they're saying if a girl asks you what time, ask my son what time he born, he better run because she about to do his chart.
I think it's really good because it's gonna speak to compatibility, because a lot of times when we're like, "Well, what's your sign?" and we're going by the sun sign, which is only a fraction of who you are,
Right.
but when you're thinking about a relationship, it's like, no, you need to get the whole picture of this person.
Right. And
Yeah.
it makes sense because there'll be people like my cousin right now. We joke around about a friend that we have, a mutual friend that's an Aries, and she's like the total opposite of me, like very
Mhm.
quiet, laid back, very serious. She was like, I don't know what the hell is in her chart because she don't act like no Aries I know.
Yeah, and then a lot of it can be more of your moon sign being expressed. So the planets show what's happening. The sign shows you the behavior, how it will be expressed. So each sign has its own characteristic, and the houses show where it's going to be happening.
Okay. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to I can't wait to do my chart and look at it.
Yes.
I've seen my chart, but I never understood the houses and all that. I just never got it. So and
Yeah.
a lot of times a lot of these videos are very complicated and they're talking astrology lingo that I don't know what the hell they're talking about. So it goes over my head.
It goes over your head.
So I'm glad you can break it down for us. So with that, okay, so yeah, with that, explain what the sun sign let me just rephrase the question. Many people know their sun sign, but they don't know what their moon or their rising sign is. So can you explain the difference between those actual signs?
Yes. So our rising sign is the sign where when the sun was rising on the eastern hemisphere when we were born. And our rising sign is the energy that we are influenced by when we show up in the world. So when
Oh,
we're outside in the world, that's our rising sign. For example, my rising is Gemini, which is the communicator, the teacher, sharing information. That's when I'm out in the world. But my moon sign, your moon sign speaks to how you process your feelings and emotions, your emotional. uh,
really?
Yes.
That
So
sounds good with me.
typically they say your moon sign is really who you are that's our default when we are settled and just kind of in our own little zone.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
our moon sign energy, and then our sun sign speaks to our ego, our purpose, our goals, and where we shine, like when we're doing something
makes
depending
sense.
on the house. How does it make us shine?
That makes sense. Yeah, because I'm
Mhm.
Aries, sun sign. My rising sign is Scorpio. I don't think I act like a Scorpio, but
Well, no, it's not about acting, but when you're out in the world, Scorpio deals with change, transformation, healing. So when you're out in the world, you attract people who may need healing services or they're going through change and transformation. Yeah.
that makes sense. And then my moon is Capricorn. Capricorn.
Yes,
Sorry.
Capricorn moon. So Capricorn in general is their mode is stability and security. So when it
Okay.
comes to your feelings and emotions, you'll feel it, but you're like, okay, what's up? Well, I'm on to the next because I got to get this money. I can't really sit in my feelings too much because I
That
got this
makes
money to
sense.
get.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. But
Hmm.
also I think that they're grounded, but I'm more of a homebody these days. So I don't know if that's
Yeah.
Capricorn, but yeah. But yeah, I really enjoy learning about this stuff.
Now,
So
depending on what house your moon is in, that's
okay.
going to show you how you're emotionally supported and feel secure and how it's expressed.
Okay. So I
Hmm.
gotta look that up. Uh
Yes.
and then you kind of talked about the 12 houses. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on like
Sure.
what each house represents and maybe we can learn more about that?
Yes. So we have an astrology wheel, the astrological wheel. And so the universe moves counterclockwise like this, but it's always expanding. And it's like seconds on a clock. And so there are 12 houses, and each house is ruled by a sign. So the first house is ruled by Aries. Aries is the baby of the zodiac. In astrology, the first is the baby, and the last is the elder. So Aries governs the first house, which deals with your physical appearance, your physicality, your ego, and the things that are around you. Okay. The second house is ruled by Taurus, which governs our money, finances, and our values and materialistic things. The third house is ruled by Gemini, which is the communicator. So it's the house of communication, the house of siblings, the house of short travel. So if you have a placement there, then that means communication is going to be an intricate part of your life, or you will be pushed to communicate and speak your voice. The fourth house, like as I mentioned, is ruled by Cancer, and that's the house of family, tradition, ancestry, roots. The fifth house is ruled by Leo, and that is the house of fun. I call it the fun house. That's the house of recreation, the house of children, the house of hobbies. And
Oh, wow.
typically, I find when people have a fifth house placements, they have some really intense other placements in their chart, and they need that creativity to offset a lot of that heavy, or I would say, spiritual responsibility that they've been given. The sixth house is ruled by Virgo, and Virgo governs health and diet, routines, service, pets. So if you have a sixth house, then maybe pets are in your chart to help you grow. The
Okay.
seventh house is ruled by Libra, and that's the house of marriage and partnership and your social settings. The eighth house is ruled by Scorpio, and that governs death, sex, intimacy, inheritance. Yeah, eighth house is pretty intense.
Heavy.
Uh, it
That
change
that
and transformation. So anytime someone has an eighth house placement, I know right away, okay, this person is changing and transforming at a faster rate than someone else. And it's typically dealing with healing on a deep, deep level. So Scorpio water is like the depths of the ocean. Cancer water is shallow. Pisces water is like galactic water. So that Scorpio eighth house energy is going to be very intense. The ninth house is ruled by Sagittarius, and that's the house of travel, philosophy, higher learning, adventure. The 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, which is your reputation, your public image, your career. The 11th house is ruled by Aquarius, and that's the house of friendship, family, community, future technology, your goals, your wishes. Rebellious energy is in the 11th house. And then the 12th house is Pisces, and that's healing, the spiritual realm, the subconscious, um, rehabilitation, prison, psychiatric asylum, self sacrifice.
damn.
Yeah,
Heavy.
the 8th house and the 12th house. So when I
I
do
was gonna say
charts,
they sound heavy. I'm somebody that has Pisces and Scorpio sound might be intense. You
me
have both? Wow.
yeah, but I also have that 5th house too because it's letting me know, yes, you have all this, so it's important that you have fun. It's
Yeah.
important that you alchemize all of that into creativity. So they all work hand in hand. They each have its own house energy. And so again, if you have a placement in one of those houses, then just know, okay, these are themes in life that I'm going to see that are going to be reoccurring for me to grow or for me to really fully understand who I am so I can be able to identify what's home and what's not.
That's yeah, I like that. So
Mhm.
does it really work when people say, "Oh, well, let me see your chart and see if your chart matches on my chart"? Like, does that is that really a thing? Like, people really do this before they're gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah,
together?
because we may share houses.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when you share a house with someone, you typically move on the same tempo. It's like roommates, you all know what's what. So a lot
Right.
of times the people in our life, we do have shared charts, energies in some way or another. It's
Okay.
fascinating. It's
It
absolutely
it
fascinating.
I can see why it kinda is almost like getting a reading, like, I mean, similar to a psychic reading because it's so
Mhm.
depth with, like, when you were born. Alright, so now with that said, can you explain what cosmic timing is? That's the part where I think I get complicated when they start talking about trines and trenes. What's the word? Can you help me?
Trines, the trine,
Yeah,
so those are called aspects. So
yeah,
you
I get
have
lost in
all
that.
these I know, it's okay. That's why I'm here to help,
Yeah.
explain it all. So we have all these placements, but then we have aspects, and aspects are what's being communicated between these houses and signs. So a trine will represent three signs typically in the same element that
Mhm.
have a harmonious flow. So if you have a trine, you know, okay, today is going to be flowing harmoniously. If you have a square, that speaks to tension, friction, and
Oh,
it's letting you know, okay, but it's an opportunity to grow, but it's letting you know today's going to be intense. So when you're
okay.
out in the world and you're feeling that, you don't have to take it personal. You can just best prepare yourself for it. Then there's called an opposition, and that's where two planets are literally opposite to one another. And then you have a conjunction. That's when two or more planets are in the same sign. So we have that with Pisces and Aries right now. So those
Okay.
just it just lets you know the communication of the two, like what's actually happening.
Okay. Yeah, because I see that a lot on social media, people explaining, and they'll have, like, behind them a chart and then drawing in the air and, like, trying
Mhm,
to explain.
mhm.
So, okay. Very I mean, it's starting to, like, make more sense to me.
Yeah.
So now, for someone who wants to get started in astrology, or even if it's just learn for themselves or they won't even learn, I know you are doing some programs coming up.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
tell us about
So,
it?
yes, absolutely. So on Thursday, April 9th, I'm going to be hosting a 6-week astrological course called Temple of Astrology, The Sacred Science of You. And so it is a course where you're going to be learning about who you are all through your natal chart so that we can continue to honor ourselves as we move forward in life.
Ooh, I love that. And is on Zoom or online somewhere?
Yes, it's virtual Zoom,
Okay.
and it meets every Thursday at 8 p.m.
Okay. Eastern
Mhm.
Standard Time.
Eastern
Okay.
Standard Time. Yes.
You might have some Cali clients, you never know, right?
Yes.
Somebody from Costa Rica, you never know.
Yes. I welcome them all.
Yeah. And then how can people find you so that we can follow you on social media and sign up for the course?
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at Amethyst and Rose, and all of my information is in the link in my bio that has all the information on how to contact me.
Okay, and I'll put it in the show notes as well.
Okay.
Any last words or anything else you want people to know about astrology that we might not have touched on?
Yes, I just want everyone to know that we are amazing beings, and it is not by coincidence that we are here, that every detail a part of us is sacred and it is designed for a specific reason. And we are supported by the universe in so many ways. And once we fully understand that support, then it allows us to really be our most authentic self.
Love that, love that.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, Paula. It was a
Thank
pleasure having
you.
you. I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
probably have to do a part two when we see if anybody has any comments or questions or wants to see more. Put in the comments of the show below, and let us know if you're watching this on YouTube. And yeah, and also you can also email me or contact me. Go to my Own Your Power on Instagram and hit me in the DMs and let me know. But thank you so much. All right. Well,
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a great
all
day.
right. You too. To learn more about what I do with Own Your Power Communication, from intuitive life coaching to training on how to develop your intuition to Reiki or distant healing, just go to ownyourpower.biz to learn more and join my mailing list. And if you want to listen to any of our past shows, we have hundreds and hundreds of hours of listening on YouTube and also on Buzzsprout. See the link in the show notes, and we look forward to seeing you there. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel on Own Your Power TV on YouTube. And remember, anything you want is attainable. Own your power. Looking forward to seeing you again. Ladies, did you know Black women often experience menopause earlier and with stronger symptoms than any other group? That's right, next level hot flashes, mood swings, and sleepless nights. But don't sweat it. Menno Chill by Black Girl Vitamins is here to help. Packed with herbs like ashwagandha, it's specially designed to support perimenopausal and menopausal women just like you. Plus, it's 100% vegan and doctor approved. Feel balanced, cool, and in control every stage of the journey. Own your power and take on menopause like the queen that you are. Try Mental Chill by Black Girl Vitamins today and get 20% off by clicking our special link in the show notes.